and welcome to my channel Perfect Pastimes. My name's Amanda. I live in Dorset in the south of England with my husband and my 3 dogs who are currently playing with their Christmas teddies. So you may hear them. Yeah, they'll be making quite a racket. Anyway, you'll see more of them later on. I hope you've had a lovely Christmas and are looking forward to the new year now. We had a very, very quiet Christmas once the children had gone back to their home with their mum. It was lovely seeing them. Unfortunately, Elsa's partner couldn't come with them because he picked up a D&V and he didn't want to bring it with him, let alone travelling for 2.5 hours. Anyway, Elsa came with the children and we had a lovely time early. Our actual Christmas day was very quiet, just the 2 of us. Well, just the 5 of us if you include the dogs. And we decided to go for a dawn run on the beach. Well, the dogs did the running, I don't do running. So I put in a little clip of our little trip down to the coast. It was a very grey and heavily sky-laden day, so there was no dawn, unfortunately, but we've been down there so many times for the sunset on Christmas Day or New Year's Day. It was a shame we didn't see it, but it was so still and calm, and the tide was in, and you'll see in the video, it was just so flat and oily for the high pressure. It's a very popular thing to do. There were other dog groups further up the beach, so we turned right, which we don't normally do, because the tide was in. There wasn't that much beach to play on, but they enjoyed themselves. I enjoyed a bit of fresh air too. You enjoyed the beachy, didn't you? Yes, you did. Okay, I have been working on other little things. You can see I am currently wearing a new sweater. This is the Mayala by Renee Callahan. I had to think that. Top down. I think I can go back far enough for you to see. I finished it day before yesterday, and it was something I saw at the retreat that Black Sheep Walls did in November. Sarah Daly brought it along. It's one of her sample things she did for Rowan. I made mine from Drops Nepal. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I have a little bit of a cold. Touch wood, not much. I've been keeping it at bay. So if I sound a bit strange, I apologise. This is made in Drops Nepal, which is an Aran weight. I bought 11 and I only used 10. This is colour 8960 in Forest. Let me have a look a minute. 8960 Forest. And I also held with it 7120, which is light grey blue. It's almost a soft green, I think, rather than a blue, but it goes well with the forest, I think. And Drops Nepal, 50-gram ball, 75 meters, 65% wool, 35% alpaca. Not a yarn I've used before, but it was lovely, and because it was knitted on 5mm, it knitted up very, very quickly. Hence you haven't seen me mention it yet. I did mention that I had one in the pipelines, and this was it, and I really enjoyed knitting it. It's not colour work, it's slip stitch, so you only use one colour at a time, which is so easy. And if you want the colour work effect without the colour work hassle of carrying yarns, it's a great one to start with. I think the pattern is lovely. It's a nice warm sweater, and yeah, I'm really pleased with the fit and everything. It blocked quite nicely. I had to block it slightly bigger. Again, as I've done before, my gauge was well off. and I had to do a bit of fudging with the pattern stitch count to my sizing that I wanted. So as I've done before, you work out your gauge, how many stitches per inch, how many inches you need, times that by the stitches you want, and then look on the pattern to see which part of the pattern has that many stitches when you're doing the body, so you can work backwards from there. Then you get the proportions right, you get the shaping right, and it doesn't matter if it's a triple XL or a extra small or whatever, because the proportions are correct to your tension. It works 9 times out of 10 for me. I quite like being able to have the choice of my yarns. So that was Drops Nepal, and I used 10 balls. I bought 11 of the green, and I've got that much left, so that it was 9 and a little bit, plus the extra colour. So that was nice. And another thing I wanted to do this year was knit myself some Christmas socks. I don't have any Christmas socks specifically, apart from the Cornish Christmas socks. So I found some balls of yarn which were Christmassy in colour, and I actually managed to finish one. This is Regia Perfect Design by Anna and Carlos, and this is 09136 Colourway Garden, and I thought it looked Christmassy. What do you think? It's coming out quite orangey. It isn't that orangey in real life, but it's a ball that I'll just get the remnants, hold on. It starts with this yellow. You spool off the yellow, and then you start with the colour. The yellow is your fudge room, so you don't take any notes of that. And then you start with the colour. I did the full green in my welt at the top. Then it goes into this self striping-y thing, and then when it gets to the next colour, you do the next block of green, you do the heel, and then you do the foot to your length. Now my foot is an 11-inch foot, size 8 UK, and this is my new Onling sock blockers, which are adjustable, so there's a little bit of a thing there, but that's the size of my foot. And I was lucky in the fact that my rows that I want, I usually do about 60 rows, and that is when the green started. So I did my normal rows, rounds, and my normal toe decrease, and it worked out perfect. You could, if you've got a smaller foot, cut the yarn, reel off until you get to the green, and then do your toe if you wish, I suppose. But that is one half of the ball, and then after this green it goes yellow again. You spool off the yellow, and then you start again, and you end up with a matching pair. It's very clever. So that's Regia Perfect Design Line, and these are by Anna and Carlos. So I only finished them a couple of days ago, so a bit post-Christmas really, but they're ready for next year. I have plans of wearing them later today. It's not quite finished at Christmas yet, is it? My other project I was working on, of course, was my Nana's visit, and you can see I have finished. So if you've not caught up with Nana's visit yet and you don't want to see, you can look away now, but I think there are so many out there now. Here she is with her little cloak on. I didn't buy the glasses, I made those out of some aluminium wire I had. Under her cloak, of course, she has her Nomi hat. And she's got the cloak because she's trying to visit family. Sarah Shearer does a lovely story and recipes and all sorts of things along with a normal knit along. So that was quite fun. She's now going to join my other Christmas gnomes. I like the colour choices, a limey green, chartreusey green and a reddy pink, all sock leftovers. I think her and Little Claus will be going on holiday until next Christmas soon. That'll be good. I did do a little bit more of my cross stitch. I'll keep going on this until it's finished. I'm not, I don't like it hanging over my head, so I will keep going on with that, but it doesn't matter when I get it finished. It will be for definitely for next year. The next box I've skipped because it is a month box. They put out monthly boxes, and they've been doing them with the written month on, and because I haven't done any of the others, I didn't want to do another. I didn't want to start with names. As I said, this subscription is quite nice in the fact that you can skip a box if you don't like it too much. So I will carry on with that as and when I can. I really must get on with the Owl and the Pussycat and get that finished. It's been hanging around for so long. It took nearly 2 years for the order to get fulfilled, and it's taken me nearly 2 years to get halfway finished. And there's a box under that stall there, John's stall where he sits, and it's got another one of Jenny Aidan Christie's patterns in it, the Paramal, which I'd love to get started, but I wanted to finish the Owl and the Pussycat first. Now, thinking of starts and finishes, I have made a Make 9 grid. Sorry, I had to go and get my printout. My computer, I couldn't show it on my screen to show you. Now you can see on my screen, I'll put the picture here, on my Make 9, I have 2 things I've already got underway. The Soulful Sierra blanket, I'm about a quarter way up. And the Land Blanket Wrap by Louis Boria, I've done almost just to finish the first half. You do one half, do it, repeat it, and then join the 2 together. So I'd like to get those underway and finished. The 4 sweaters, the Compton, you know about, I have the yarn. I think I got that from a warehouse. The Nouse Light I bought, and the pattern I bought at Southern Wool Show from, excuse me, Blue Fern Yarns. I've got hiccups. The Baler, I have the yarn for. It's a beautiful, beautiful sweater. I don't have the pattern yet. I have the pattern in my Ravelry waiting. I'll purchase it when I've bought the others, and I've got them done, I think. And the Sucre by Sarah Hatton is in a Rowan Felter tweed. Now normally I don't go much thicker than an Aran. I'm big enough across the chest already, and I don't like adding the bulk of bulky yarn. But this is such a nice little cardigan, simple, easy wear. I've got a charcoal colour. I thought it would be good to put over dresses. It's a short, I'm gonna make a shorty version. I wear quite a few dresses around the house with leggings underneath, so I thought I'd give that a go. And yes, the bottom line has no pictures yet. That is because I have the Seascape from Yarn for the Soul with the fluff Kid Silk Haze. I got 3 Seascape skeins plus Kid Silk Haze, and I haven't found a pattern for that yet, so that's a job to do. The Creative Soft Fun Aran blanket, I have knit several squares, but not enough to make a blanket. So I thought what I'd do is I'd crochet some squares to go with the blanket, and join them all together. So it'd be a mixed hodgepodge of styles, but the colours will take it through. It'll just be a nice blanket to have around the house. And the last one in the corner is my Blue Fern Yarns Advent. I have decided I am going to do something a little more with this yarn. This is the pitfall of starting a bit early to do an Advent when you're not too sure what you want to do with it, isn't it? It turned out that Shannon's colour choices, as you've seen, these are only the 10 gram part of the 20 gram minis. They are so beautiful, and it's such a nice fade. I've shown you the colours. I'm sure you've seen other podcasts with them on. And then they went through to other colours I have in my bag. I won't show you because they'll make a rustling sound. Went through the blues to the greens. And then we got the final skein, which was all the colours together. So I think I've decided I'd like to do something a little more than just a blanket. Advents aren't cheap. There's quite a lot of money's worth of yarn here. And to make just a blanket again seems a bit wasteful. So I'm going to unpick those 9 triangles I've done, join them back to their other part of the ball, and perhaps try and find a nice fade sweater. Not sure if I'll need that, but it will be handy for maybe welts. And I'll use it up that way. 24 20 gram minis. It's 480 grams. That's quite a lot of yarn, really, isn't it? I'll see what I can figure out anyway. I think it just needs showcasing a bit more than just putting a blanket. So that's where I am with that, and I have plans to do that make 9 through the next year. And of course, in my best Nigella, it will be liberally sprinkled with other things, of course, stitching and anything else I can think of. I don't like staying still too long. I hope you're all making plans for the new year and what you'd like to get done and create coming up. It's an interesting time of the year, isn't it? I think I prefer New Year to actual Christmas. I like the turning of the page. I like the clean slate thing. So I've started to make some little plans. I certainly plan on cleaner eating after the past week or so. I'm needing a bit of a detox, I think. I'm sure a lot of us are. I will now insert our little trip down to the coast with the dogs and their gifting at the end of it. Thank you, Debbie, for your kind Ko-fi donation for them. I have already messaged Debbie directly, and I was blown away. You're so kind. Thank you very much. I will hopefully see you all in the new year. Hopefully with some things restarted, newly started, or moved on a little bit. And I don't know about you, but we don't get to the hootenanny anymore, let alone through the new year. We sleep through it all. But have a lovely new year, and I will see you again soon. Bye.